Hello guys, Samuel here for Sambot the Trade. So welcome to this weekly video. As usual, we're gonna do a quick review of the market, which is very boring. Okay, actually, nothing has changed since last week. So the main part of this video will be discussing what you can do during these periods, because the bot is usable, very much usable in this kind of situation, but we're going to go in a much more conservative way of trading. So let's start right now. So regarding the Bitcoin, we can see that it's still stuck within this range. Okay, so now we hit the top of the range, so the logical move would be to go back and try to touch the bottom of the range. We have a divergence here on the RSI, which can be a bullish sign, okay, but there's no obligation for this to turn out bullish. So here we can see we are making higher lows, and here we are making lower lows. Okay, so this is on the daily chart. So if we would to go up, I would expect having more and more hits of this line here, and then a breakout, maybe a pullback, and then we go up. Or we can simply continue within this range and break to the downside. Okay, so from a trading point of view, this is a continuation pattern. Okay, so it can break down. It would be the more likely possibility would be to go down. Okay, but as we know now, you can't really know what it's going to do. You can only react to what's happening. So this is the market situation. So basically boring. Okay, there's no big moves, nothing. So we're going to go maybe more into small profits. Okay, we won't try to hit big moves like we did during the bull run. So let's get to the bot right now. So I've created a few bots last week just to have a look. Basically my BNB down, okay, is still stuck, but I've got some profit from the BNB up and from the BTC down. Okay, even if it's not written, there was I don't know why, out of sync, and the orders were processed on the exchange but not on the bot. So I simply manually close them, and the profit is not logged. Okay, but it's still it was a winning trade. We can see here the buy, it bought there, and there, and I sold it somewhere by there. Okay, the bot had an issue. So yes, basically in this kind of market situation, I think the best thing to do would be to kind of scalp the market. Okay, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. You can either try to dollar cost average on a wide range. Okay, so let's say you can go on you can say, okay, I don't think Bitcoin is going to go underneath, let's say, 15K. So you're going to prepare, you're going to lay your orders until 15K, and you're not going to look at it for 1 year, 2 years, I don't know. So this would be a more long-term kind of strategy. Or you can trade very actively for very small profits. Okay, this is more a way that I like to do it when the markets are calm like this. And the best way to do it is to trade the spread. Okay, so the previous week I've shown you the EVA BTC. Okay, honestly, this market there's not a lot of activity, so I've been quite stuck for quite some time on the trade. So it doesn't seem to be a good market. But anyway, I kind of changed slightly the configuration, and I added a minimum spread. Okay, meaning that the bot will not try to buy if there's not a spread big enough. Okay, I know I didn't go into details on that part, but if you want to learn exactly what is the bid-ask spread, there are tons of videos online, and I think you can find good explanation on this. and this will help you understand what this is, okay? And just to say it quickly, the anti-spoof, sometimes people do very small orders and try to make a tiny spread with very small quantities. So you can avoid these quantities and it will not be considered into the calculation of the minimum spread. Okay, this prevents people from faking very tight spreads. Yes, so that's it. So actually, okay, on Binance you have quite a few markets which have wide spreads, and there's enough activity to get hit multiple times. Okay, so I found this Dodo BTC yesterday night. I set it up, and you can see I already had some trades. Okay, I just readapted now my layers so that every time it can it is on a support. Okay, so here you can see there's a support here. So if I get hit, there's a high chance that it bounces. Okay, so this morning the order was a bit lower, so I reduced the drop percentage to 6% here, so that it will match. It seems to match when I see this. Every time it's on a support. So even if it breaks this and goes there on a tiny bounce, I should get out. Okay, but don't get too greedy on the take profit. Even here, I think it's a bit too much. I put 2%, 1% here with a minimum spread of 0.3. So yes, I think trying to find these kind of market, okay, will give you a much higher success rate. Why is that? Simply because there's no one there. Okay, so the goal is really to go where people are not searching, and from there you can make tiny profits all day long. So how to find these kind of markets? It's quite simple. You just go on Binance. Then you can go on the markets here. Okay, so it's a spot markets, and what I did, it's simply you order by volume. Okay, so the lowest volume first, and then you start searching for markets where you have some volume but very little. Okay, because if you have no trading activity at all, you will never get hit. So you need a minimum of volume per day. Okay, so for example, when I selected Dodo had a volume of 38 bitcoins in 24 hours. Just to give you so you can, I think as from 24 it should be fine. So maybe the EVA BTC here on Binance will be better than on HitBTC because you have less volume on HitBTC. Okay, so you have tons of small markets like this that you can trade to make more Bitcoin during these times. What I would recommend is really to tighten the losses. Okay. I mean, you put your orders with very small take profits, but you don't risk too much. Okay, we are here to make tiny profits all day long, and I think this actually would be the best way to go. Okay, so we can see here BAL BTC. So I have no idea what is BAL BTC, but we're gonna see right now. So you don't have the spread on the Binance app. So personally, I use Altrady to get this data. Okay, but you can use another one. Basically, you can see if I go on the Dodo. Yep. So that's it, and you have the spread here in percent. Okay. So I use this software. You can find something else where you can just get the spread. But basically, once you understand this, there are tons of markets you can trade. So I think this one, BAL BTC, let me see. we have a spread of 17% right now. So this spread change all day, okay, of course, and it tends to widen when it reaches a point where there will be a reversal, okay. In theory, it's like this. So yeah, this spread is I would like maybe a little bigger one, but it can still be traded. Okay, so I think the focus here would be to go on markets that nobody goes, so that you can there's less competition and you can participate in this market. Okay, like I did with Dodo. So while it's going down, it's simply not trading, but I prefer this and being saved here than opening orders all the way along and just cutting them in stop loss. Okay, so you really need to configure your thing and try it basically. Okay, so this can be a technique. Now I had another idea in mind. So for example, on the BTC down, I'm gonna show it to you. No, this is a BNB down. Let me go to a BTC down. You can clone a bot here. You can duplicate it. Okay, so I'm gonna duplicate it and make it, I'll call it grid, okay, because it's almost grid trading, what I have in mind. And let's go for it. So when I see here, okay, you have bounces quite quickly, for example there. So let's say I'm willing to cover like 18% with a grid, but with a lot of layers, okay? So I'm gonna say, let me do a grid of, so every 4% I'll have a new order, and I'm gonna put 6 order, meaning 6 times 4, so 24. I'm gonna cover 24%, and I'm gonna start right away with no waiting period and a drop of 0.5%, but it's a test, so I'm gonna do a very small amount. I'm gonna do the minimum amount, and I'm multiplying every time it goes lower, meaning I will draw down the entry price. I will drag the entry price lower and lower by buying more and more at each layers. So this is what it looks like. And now let me do a very small take profit of 1% and let's say 2% there. So my maximum loss is 16%, which is very small. Yep, and I cover up to 18% with layers, and my stop loss is at 26%. So maybe I'm gonna tighten this stop loss to 4%, and I'm gonna leave the smart stop loss active. Okay, so that's it, and I'm gonna execute this and see how it goes. So if you want to have more details on the different entry prices, here you see the drop in percent, the quantity is going to buy. So you can see the lower it goes, the more it's investing and the quantity is increasing. Okay, the break even, you can see how it handles the break even. So we need a bounce of 8% and of 10% to take profit if we reach the last layer, which is kind of high, but you can like readjust. Let's say if I increase this, automatically it will buy more and the bounce will be less. You can see here that the bounce is less, but my risk is increasing, but it's still acceptable for me. So I'm gonna put this like this, and I'm gonna test this. Okay, so yes, you have 3 ways you can use the bot. Either with you cover big range, okay, on a bigger time frame. Okay, so let's say like 4 orders with 15% drop between each orders, or even more, and then you set it like this, and you're not willing to to make profits quickly, so it will take time. Or you can do a tiny grid like I just did to try to get the smaller moves, okay, but because the moves are quite slow during these periods. Or the best thing, I think, would be to trade the spread, like I showed you previously, and try to pick all these small markets that nobody's taking care of. And so there's less competition, and then make your profit slowly, little by little, every day, and during these periods, okay? So especially when you're trading, for example, when I'm trading against a BTC, I mean the quote asset is BTC, like for example Dodo BTC, so I'm trading Dodo to make more BTC. This allows me to accumulate from my BTC that's left that I haven't sold yet, but you can do it with USDT. It's up to you. But I mean, when you are curious like that and you are looking for markets that nobody is really caring about, I think it's there that you can you have a higher probability of winning. Okay, so this is my point of view. Okay, now I'm not a financial advisor as always. I'm just explaining to you how you can use the bot differently during different market conditions. So now when the market is really trending, okay, trending up or down, if it's trending down, we're going to use the leverage token down, okay, and if it's trading up, you can use either the classic crypto or leverage token to the upside. In these kind of markets, the best strategy is to cover a big range with a few orders and high take profits, like 10% to 15%. But in our current market condition, since there's a lot less movement, you need to change your tactic to a much smaller take profit in order to be executed more often. Okay, otherwise you're just going to be stuck in the market and your take profit will be very rarely reached. So yes, that's all I wanted to say. I hope it's clear. Okay, I know I've given a lot of information like this, but I'm always I know very well how it works, so maybe when I'm just talking about it like this, it might be a bit more complex. But if you don't really understand what is the bid-ask spread, I would really recommend that you search, okay, on YouTube. You have tons of good videos about this, about the order book and how it works, okay, and understanding how the price is calculated and at what price you buy or sell if you do it at the market, okay, at the market price. So yes, that's all. I wish you good luck in your trading and have a nice week.